Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek, you are watching Going Geek. Welcome back to Goodnight Sweetheart, a show that I absolutely love, even though the main character does really annoy me a lot of the times. So we are now on to Series 3. Of course, I did the first episode of Series 3 for New Year's, because it tied in with New Year's. So what I'm going to be doing, this month is just going to be the one episode, because there's 10 episodes in the series. So I'll do one episode this month, and then for the remainder of the series, I will do 2 episodes each day when I upload them. So it'll be one 7 o'clock in the morning, and then one 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But this one, this is coming out on YouTube on the 12th of February, and on that day, in history of 1942, because we're working the way through the war. Apparently, the Battle of Bukit Timah ended in a Japanese victory, and the British destroyer HMS Maori was bombed and sunk by the Luftwaffe in the Malta Grand Harbour. So there you go, there's a couple of little on this day facts for you. But for now, we're checking out Series 3, Episode 2, which is called 1 O'Clock Jump.
Goodnight, sweetheart. I had to get up anyway.
To go to work, you mean? Whereas I don't have a job.
You're bound to get a job sooner or later.
Am I misremembering this? But when did she lose her job? Or how did she lose her job? Because the end of... Wasn't it the end of the second series they did the whole bugging thing? And then we had the Christmas episode, then we had the New Year's one. I don't remember them saying that she lost her job, so... Yeah, when did she lose her job?
You applied on my behalf.
Ah.
Well, you remember you can do whatever you put your mind to.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary,
You gotta
I
have
don't
faith.
deserve you.
No, you really don't deserve him.
I was sweet and innocent before you turned up.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's still sweet.
Yeah, not so innocent, though.
Maybe she's hankering after children. You thought of that?
Of course I thought of that.
Well, have you discussed it at all?
She said, I do want children, but not with you, you fat bastard.
Oh!
I'm here in my temporary capacity as Crime Prevention Officer.
Whoa! Whoa, look at that!
She was a lady bus conductor. Used to catch her trolley nearly every single day. She had such a nice smile, lovely way of saying, I've got room for a little one downstairs.
But I bet she has.
Look, do you really want to go and work for a bunch of Japs?
Gary, that's a bit xenophobic.
Oh!
You know what they're like deep down.
Formal and distant?
No, bloodthirsty and alien. But you should have told him about the baby. He'd be pleased as punch.
Would you keep your voice down? That's me old man driving the bus. It took
Oh,
me
it
months
is.
to persuade him that he was the father. I wanted you to meet little Frank.
Why?
Why does your wife never speak?
She doesn't understand English. She's Japanese.
Oh. Oh, okay. Where do we start with that one? Oh boy. Shall we say, it is safe to say that the more time that Gary spends in the past, certain negative attitudes and thoughts are starting to influence his mind. Yeah, that was uncomfortable. And it makes sense at the same time, because we all know that things like racism and xenophobia and homophobia and transphobia and all this kind of stuff, they don't just come from nothing. They can't. It's absolutely impossible. Like my nephew, he's young and innocent. He will talk about stuff that he hears. So like recently, he's been calling me a monger a lot. Now I'll go into him and I'll say, hey, give him a little cuddle and go, get off, you monger. And then just randomly we'll be watching TV together and he'll just go, you're a monger. For context, he's like 4.5. But a monger is that term that my sister's called me and calls actually a lot of people over the years. most of the time it's not done in a horrible way. It is sort of a heartfelt, endearing way, just like, oh, you're such a monger kind of thing. But so obviously he's not born knowing that word. He's picked it up through hearing it and through repetition and all that kind of stuff. And so when you have kids that become adults and they are racist and they are derogatory about people, or they're homophobic or whatever, they've obviously clearly picked it up from people either of the same generation who have picked it up from people of other generations, or they've learned it themselves from people of other generations, whether it's their mum or dad or their grandparents or whoever. And it's the kind of thing that you'd like to think that Gary is old enough and mature enough to not to have his own mind and to understand that these are not necessarily the good things to say, regardless of whether he's drunk or not. But he has obviously spent so much time. I mean, effectively, I think it's safe to say that over the maybe 2 and a bit years that he's spent in the past, and obviously he clearly likes to go there a lot of those wartime attitudes and thoughts and phrases and things have started to rub off on him. Which is uncomfortable to watch as a viewer in the modern day. But again, it's something that, as much as it is something that is wrong, it is very... you have to understand that those were the mentalities of the time of which this show is set. It doesn't make it excusable, but those were the mentalities and the views. And I've met a lot of German people, for example, and they are a lot of the time they're horrified of what their ancestors and countrymen did during the war, and the way that they followed, probably the most evil human who has ever existed in all of human history. And they are a lot of the people that I've met who are German and things, or other members of those forces, like the Italians or the Japanese or whatever. They really are. It was just an atrocious act, and they are not happy that their ancestors were often involved with stuff like that. And of course not all of them were. There were a lot of Germans who supported the Jewish and things and tried to help them and stuff, but they of course could never reveal it publicly. So yeah, interesting how Gary is being influenced by his time in the past. Lovely though what he did for Reg. That was really lovely to see. Really enjoyed that little storyline there. I wonder if we're going to see a bit more of Marjorie. And did she say Frank? Is Frank his son? Frankie? It sounded like that. And Ron. I'm interested to see where we go with Ron, because we've obviously had the last episode where we actually met Stella for the very first time, and we were kind of seeing seeds of them not getting along. So they're kind of obviously building on it now. I don't know if we are going to see Stella again, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with them moving forwards. So that is it for this month's episode of Goodnight Sweetheart. I hope you enjoyed it. And next month, like I said, there'll be 2 episodes, so we will do episodes 3 and 4. So until next time, please subscribe if you're new, drop your comments below, turn on notifications, and of course you can head on over to Patreon and support me there, which you can get early access and exclusive content. But until next time, my name's Kevin. I'm a geek.